Here is some additional practice with reference angles. Let's find the tangent of 330 degrees. So we want to know what is the tangent of 330. Off the top of my head, I do not know the exact value of the tangent of 330, but maybe a reference angle will help. I'm going to draw in a unit circle to help me find the reference angle of 330. I'm going to estimate where 330 is. Well, 330 is clearly in the fourth quadrant because that's between 270 and 360. So 330 may be about here. It's in standard position, which means it goes from the x-axis to the terminal side with the vertex at the origin. This is the angle that we're saying is 330. Now, the reference angle is the smallest angle which takes us from the terminal side back to the x-axis. Clearly, this is the shortest and smallest angle which takes us from this terminal side back to the x-axis. Since this is 330, from there to there, and all the way around is 360, what is the size of this angle? Clearly, this angle must be 30 in order to take us the rest of the way back to 360. Therefore, the reference angle of 330 is 30. Notice that we have reflected 330 across the x-axis. So here we have 30 and here is 30. And therefore, if we know the cosine and the sine of 30 degrees, we can use that to help us find the cosine, the sine, and the tangent of 330. What is the cosine of 30 degrees? Well, the cosine of 30 degrees is radical 3 over 2. And what is the sine of 30 degrees? The sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. These are values that you should have memorized. Let's see. What is the cosine and the sine, therefore, of 330? Well, the x-coordinate is not going to change when we reflect across the x-axis. Therefore, these x-coordinates are the same. And that means that the cosine of 330 is radical 3 over 2. When we reflect across the x-axis, we've gone from positive y's to negative y's, and so the y-coordinate, the SIGN, has changed, so this becomes a negative 1/2. You see the sine of 30 is 1/2, and the sine of 330 is negative 1/2. We can use this information to answer the question. Well, the tangent is the sine over the cosine, so that means we have negative 1/2 over radical 3 over 2. When we are dividing fractions, that means we have to multiply by the reciprocal. So we have negative 1/2 times 2 over radical 3. These 2's can cancel out. We have negative 1 over radical 3. We always like to rationalize the denominator, so I will multiply the top and the bottom by radical 3. And we end up with negative radical 3 over 3. The tangent of 330 degrees is negative radical 3 over 3.